structure of glucose. Tell me, in cyclic structure of glucose, we study open chain. In open chain structure, glucose contain first carbon aldehyde, second carbon OH right side, third carbon OH left, and fourth carbon right, fifth carbon right side OH, and sixth carbon is CH2 OH group. Okay. Then, in the formation of cyclic structure, fifth carbon OH group is interact with the aldehyde group. It form two monomers, six membered ring. That is a two isomers. That is a alpha and beta. Okay. So we have completed that of alpha and beta. Okay. Therefore, in alpha form, tell me, in case of alpha form, if the keto group OH convert into OH, if it is a right side, second carbon and third carbon OH, fourth carbon, fifth carbon and sixth carbon CH2OH. This is called what? It is a alpha D plus glucose. Next, if this OH group on first carbon is left side, it become beta D plus glucose. Both the structures are called Fischer structure. Okay. Next, for us important is Haworth structure. Have you written that also? Okay. Haworth structure of glucose. Right. So while writing the Haworth structure, you need to remember two important points. First is draw the six-membered skeletal ring of pyranose. Therefore, since glucose exists in the form of six-membered ring is called pyranose ring. It is a pyranose ring. Right. In glucose, so oxygen atom present between which carbon atom? First and fifth. Therefore, this is a first carbon, it is a fifth carbon. So therefore, first carbon, fifth carbon it is, sixth carbon is CH2OH. This CH2OH can be written here. That is the first point is we need to draw the six-membered skeletal ring, which is called pyranose ring. Second important point is the groups which are present right side in Fischer projection, in Fischer structure, write the below the plane. So therefore, on first carbon OH is below the plane, that is right side below the plane, second right side, third left side above the plane, fourth right side below the plane, and remaining all are hydrogen. So this is called alpha D plus glucopyranose, since it is a pyranose ring. So where alpha indicate, so this first carbon OH is below the plane, it is alpha, or first carbon OH right side alpha. And what does D indicate? It is a configuration but not rotation. And plus indicate rotation, and glucopyranose indicate six-membered ring. Next is you can also draw the beta form. Tell me, in case of beta, it is everything is same, like similar to alpha glucose only, but only change is first carbon OH comes up. So therefore, if the first carbon OH comes up and it is H is down, and remaining groups are exactly same as alpha. So this is called beta D plus glucopyranose. Okay, therefore glucose exists two forms, alpha D plus glucopyranose, beta D plus glucopyranose, by changing the H and OH group on first carbon. Now this first carbon is called anomeric carbon. Then what is the relation between alpha and beta? So they are called anomers. This is important. What are the anomers? See, anomer is, it's alpha and beta, nothing but anomer. So alpha, beta differ in what? The pair of isomers, it is two are isomers now. The pair of isomers which are differ in configuration of which carbon? First carbon, or first asymmetric carbon, which is also called anomeric carbon. Therefore, the pair of isomers which differ in the configuration of first asymmetric carbon or anomeric carbon is called what? anomers. Example, alpha glucose, beta glucose, alpha fructose, beta fructose. Alpha beta relation is always anomeric relation. Epimers are different. So what are the epimers? Epimer is a pair of isomers which differ in the configuration of what? Configuration of one asymmetric carbon other than anomeric carbon. There you are written other than anomeric carbon. So therefore here they differ in anomeric carbon. So therefore, so definition is important. The pair of isomers, the pair of isomers which differ in configuration of first asymmetric carbon, configuration of first asymmetric carbon, which is also called anomeric carbon, right? So therefore the pair of isomers which differ in the configuration of first asymmetric carbon or anomeric carbon is called anomers. So example, you can take alpha glucose comma beta glucose, or alpha fructose and beta fructose. So the relation between alpha and beta is always anomeric relation. Okay, therefore here this is alpha beta. Now one more important point here. Now can you tell me whether alpha beta glucose, whether they are superimposable? Superimposable in the sense, you take this molecule, pick this molecule, keep here. They exactly superimpose. Is it? No, they are not exactly superimposed, because now all the carbon atoms superimpose, but one carbon do not superimpose, that is first carbon. Because if you pick the molecule, keep here, OH group comes up, here OH group comes down. Therefore they differ in first asymmetric carbon. No, that's what, they are not exactly superimposable. They are not superimposable. Can they are mirror images? If you keep mirror here, so both will mirror images? No, they are not even mirror images also. Therefore they are called what? Diastereomers. Non-superimposable, non-mirror images, diastereomers. Whereas non-superimposable mirror images, enantiomers. Therefore, so right, another point is anomers are non-superimposable and non mirror images. Therefore they are diastereomers, right? So therefore they are non superimposable, non mirror images, hence they are called diastereomers. Okay, it is about a structure of glucose. So ultimately important is Haworth structures. You have to remember Haworth structures of, all glucose, fructose, galactose, mannose. Okay, next, right, fructose. Fructose. Tell me. One, fructose is ketohexose or aldohexose? It is a ketohexose because it contains 6 carbon atom and keto group, right? Next, is it reducing or non-reducing? Usually reducing property is due to presence of free aldehyde group. If any molecule having free aldehyde group, that is reducing, but even though fructose has keto group, it is a reducing sugar. Why? Because fructose get converts into glucose, even mannose, in presence of alkali. Okay, so therefore it is also reducing sugar. And it can show mutarotation. Mutarotation we'll study this class only. it show muta. Usually if it is reducing, it can show muta rotation. There is a link. So therefore it shows the muta rotation. Next, tell me, fructose is dextro or levorotatory? It is a levorotatory, hence it is called levulose. Glucose is a dextrose, but it is a levulose. Next, then what is the specific rotation? The specific rotation of fructose is minus 92.4 degrees. Whereas what is the specific rotation of glucose? Have written? If not, tell me, plus 52.5 degrees. Okay, glucose is plus 52.5, but fructose is minus 92.4 degrees approximately. That's what is the levorotatory. Okay, now let's see its structure. Tell me, first let us take the open chain structure. In open chain structure, first carbon OH, CH2OH, second carbon keto group, third carbon OH, fourth carbon, fifth carbon OH, and sixth carbon is CH2OH. Okay, it is the open chain structure of fructose. But do you remember, in the formation of cyclic ring in glucose, in case of glucose, fifth carbon OH is interact with first carbon aldehyde group in glucose. But in case of fructose, it's a fifth carbon OH is interact with second carbon keto group. Okay, therefore, now difference is this second carbon keto group can convert into alcohol. That alcoholic group may come right side, it may come left side. Suppose it is second carbon, no, this second carbon OH come right side, it become alpha. And this C double bond O converts into OH. What is the remaining? This is CH2OH. It comes what? Left side, like this. You can take OH, it is CH2. And the remaining structure is same. Third carbon OH as usual, left side. Fourth carbon, right side. But fifth carbon there was OH. That OH converts into now bond, no. That bond can be written like this. And fifth carbon is CH2OH. This is called what? Alpha D minus, because fructose is a levorotatory. D minus fructose. Okay. Now therefore, now it is a alpha D minus fructose. This fructose has which membered cyclic ring? It is a 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this ring has 5 atoms. Out of 5 atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are carbon, 1 is oxygen. Therefore, the difference between glucose fructose is a 6-membered ring which is called pyranose, but fructose is a 5-membered ring which is called furanose. So it is a alpha. Why this is alpha? It is alpha because on first asymmetric carbon OH is right side. This is called anomeric carbon. First asymmetric carbon is called anomeric carbon. But difference is, now in case of glucose, which is the first asymmetric carbon? First carbon. In case of fructose, which is the first asymmetric carbon? Second carbon. Therefore, in glucose, which carbon is the anomeric carbon? C1. In fructose, which carbon anomeric carbon? C2. Right? That means anomeric carbon is not always fixed. In glucose, C1 carbon, first carbon, fructose, C2 carbon is a anomeric carbons. Now that is a alpha. Next is beta. Beta exactly similar to alpha, but only change is on anomeric carbon OH group is comes left side. Therefore, you can take anomeric carbon OH. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಾನು ನಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೀತೀರಾ? Second carbon OH left side, third carbon, fourth carbon, right? Fifth carbon, it is a bond, no? And fifth carbon, this is a alpha D minus fructose. Okay. Next, so write the Haworth structures of fructose. Haworth structures of fructose. Okay, then tell me, to write the Haworth structures, we need to remember two important points. One, tell me, in case of glucose, how we have written Haworth structure? First, we have to draw the six-membered cyclic ring, which is called pyranose. Okay, but in case of fructose, so in case of fructose, first we need to draw the five-membered cyclic ring, which is called, okay. So therefore, draw the five-membered cyclic ring with oxygen atom. So draw the five-membered cyclic ring with oxygen atom called furanose. Okay, so it is just like in case of nucleic acid. Do you remember pentose sugar will be there, no? Like pentose sugar. It is called cyclic ring, five-membered ring, furanose, like similar to furanose. Actually, furanose is this. No, five-membered ring. No, yes. Which is similar to that. Okay. Next is one more important point is the groups which are present right side in Fisher projection should be written below the plane. Therefore, the groups which are present right side in Fisher projection or Fisher structure should be written below the plane. Okay, below the plane. So therefore, now let us see the groups. Yeah, can you tell me in case of fructose where the oxygen atom present in which in between which carbon? It is a C2 and C5. Therefore, oxygen atom present between C2 carbon, that is 5 carbon. Then what about 6 carbon? 6th carbon is CH2OH. Then now tell me, I want to write alpha. Alpha D minus fructo furanose. 5-membered ring, no? Tell me now. In case of alpha, where the OH group is present, second carbon, right side. Since OH group is right side, it should be below the plane. So therefore, OH is below the plane, then CH2OH should be above the plane. Third carbon, as usual, OH is above the plane. Fourth carbon, it is below the plane. and fifth carbon H. This is a alpha D minus fructofurans. Then what about beta? Beta can be written by changing the second carbon OH, that is anomeric OH. Will you write? Write fast. Write the beta structure. Okay. Next is galactose. Third monosaccharide is galactose. Okay. Tell me. So what is the open chain structure of galactose? Open chain. First is carbon aldehyde, second carbon OH, third carbon like glucose. But what about fourth carbon? Fourth carbon OH is right side, no, left side. That is different. Okay. And tell me. So what is the difference between glucose and galactose? In case of glucose, this fourth carbon OH is where? Right side, but it is left side. Yeah, therefore glucose and galactose both are C4 epimers. Epimer is different, anomers are different. Okay, it is C4 epimer. Now, but actually we want only Haworth structure. What is the Haworth structures of galactose? Okay, so therefore to draw the Haworth structure, you remember glucose structure. I want to draw alpha D plus, it is a galactopyranose. Come on, tell me. Alpha D plus galactopyranose we want. Tell me. In case of glucose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is CH2OH. In case of glucose, alpha glucose, where the groups are present, all the OH groups are below. Remember like this. In case of alpha D plus glucose, all carbon OH are below the plane except third carbon, right? But in case of galactose, along with third carbon, fourth carbon also above the plane, means left side. Then remaining all are below the plane. Right? That's it. So that's what, if you are able to remember glucose structure, it is easy. Next, similarly, can you draw the beta? Beta D plus galactopyranose. In case of beta D plus galactopyranose, only OH, first carbon OH, no, you bring here, H bring down, so it become beta. Next, yeah, what is the relation between alpha galactose, beta galactose? Epimeric, anomeric, or both? Huh? Anomeric, epimeric? Anomeric. Alpha, beta is always anomer. How come epimer? Tell me. Epimer means galactose, glucose, epimers. Which epimers? C4. Glucose, mannose, epimers, C2. Is it glucose, fructose, epimers? No, they are functional isomers. Okay, therefore the relation between alpha beta is always anomeric relation, not epimeric. Tell me. Beta. Beta D plus gluco galactopyranose, correct. Fourth carbon OH. Yes. Okay, printing mistake. Right, next is mannose. What is the open chain structure of mannose? It is like glucose only, but differ in which carbon? Second carbon. Second carbon and third carbon both OH are right side, left side, and remaining all are right side, right? But we want Haworth projection. Okay, tell me. In Haworth structure, see, except fructose, all the monosaccharides, whatever we have in our syllabus, are 6-membered rings. Only fructose is a 5-membered ring. So therefore, mannose also 6-membered ring. For 6-membered ring, draw the 6-membered ring, and as I told you, don't change the position of oxygen. So instead of oxygen, if you write here, the total structure changes. Right? Tell me, it is, I want to draw alpha D plus mannopyranose. Alpha D plus mannopyranose. In alpha D plus mannopyranose, all the OH groups are below the plane, but second and third above the plane, right? It is a mannopyranose. Alpha. Will you draw the beta? So this OH group, first carbon OH group and H group interchange, will get a beta. Okay. Next is muta rotation. We have been using this word from the beginning of this topic. Let's see what is muta rotation. Right, see, muta rotation is, let us take example glucose. As we know that glucose has two form, alpha glucose, beta glucose. Alpha glucose can convert into beta, beta also convert into alpha through the equilibrium, that is equilibrium mixture. Let us take alpha D plus glucopyranose or glucose, which convert into beta, but in middle you will get equilibrium mixture. Equilibrium mixture. This equilibrium mixture then convert into beta also, beta D plus glucose. So therefore, alpha, beta both are interconvertible through the equilibrium mixture. So equilibrium mixture means it has both alpha as well as beta. That is the meaning of equilibrium mixture. So this has both alpha, beta. It may convert into alpha, it may convert into beta. Okay. So this is a spontaneous reaction, spontaneous process, right? Since it is a spontaneous process, we also know that there is a change in specific rotation also. What is the specific rotation of the alpha? Have written or not? Not. Bardara? Okay, it is a plus 111 degrees. So what is the meaning of plus 111 degrees? It can rotate PPL2, plane polarized light, to right side how many degrees? 111 degrees. And beta form, it can rotate plane polarized light, that is plus 19.2 degrees. Okay, both will rotate, what, clockwise, plus. Then the equilibrium mixture, which has both, its approximate specific rotation is, it is a 52.5. I think this is written, no? Glucose, no, written, no? We have taken the glucose, nothing but equilibrium, no? Equilibrium. Therefore, yeah, therefore here alpha is, rotation of alpha is this, rotation of beta is this, then equilibrium is this. Now what is the muta rotation? Muta rotation is the spontaneous change in specific rotation of optically active compound. This is one optically active, it is also one optically active compound. Okay, the specific rotation of two optically active compound is the spontaneous changes, which is called what? Muta rotation. So therefore, what is the muta rotation? The spontaneous change in specific rotation of optically active compounds. The spontaneous change in specific rotation of optically active compounds called muta rotation. Okay, then how to identify which can show muta, which cannot show muta rotation? Say if any molecule, like particularly carbohydrate, if any carbohydrate has alpha form, beta form, then how do you distinguish alpha beta form? It is by rotation only. The rotation of alpha glucose is different, rotation of beta is different, right? Alpha converts into beta, beta converts into alpha. It means if any carbohydrate having alpha and beta form, that must show what? Muta rotation. Or if any carbohydrate having only one form, okay, it is neither alpha nor beta, it's only one form, that cannot show muta rotation. The best example is sucrose. Sucrose has only one form, no alpha, no beta. Therefore, sucrose do not show muta rotation. Whereas glucose, two form, fructose, alpha fructose, beta fructose, maltose, lactose, even mannose, etc., etc. We have two forms, alpha, beta. Wherever you get alpha and beta, that is anomers. So whichever carbohydrate has anomers, that can have what? Muta rotation. If any carbohydrate having no anomers, that cannot show muta rotation. Therefore, the condition for muta rotation is carbohydrates having anomers, right? So carbohydrates having anomers can exhibit muta rotation. So for muta rotation, anomeric carbon is must, anomers are must. And which carbohydrate do not have anomers? That is sucrose. So sucrose do not exhibit muta rotation. Why do not exhibit muta rotation? We will study with example in today class only. Okay. Understand? Next is disaccharides. Yeah, it's about monosaccharide over. Right? We have completed glucose, fructose, galactose, mannose structures with their structural information. Completed, no? Next is disaccharide. Come on, right? What are the disaccharide? The carbohydrate which gives how many? Two monosaccharides. So the carbohydrate which gives two monosaccharides on hydrolysis called disaccharide. Then usually disaccharides are classified into two types. There are two types of disaccharide. One, homodisaccharide. Second one, heterodisaccharide, homo and heterodisaccharide. Tell me, the name itself giving meaning, homodisaccharide, the carbohydrate or the disaccharide which contain same monosaccharide, same type of monosaccharide, right? That means the disaccharide which contain same monosaccharides, the disaccharide which contain same monosaccharide is a homodisaccharide. Next, what about heterodisaccharide? The disaccharide which gives or which have different monosaccharide, right? If they have different monosaccharide is heterodisaccharide. Can you tell me example for homodisaccharide? Maltose, because maltose contain 2 glucose, no. Therefore, maltose is example for homodisaccharide. Next example for hetero, sucrose and lactose also, right? Sucrose and lactose are example for hetero. Okay, tell me, sucrose contain which monosaccharide? Glucose, fructose. Lactose contain galactose and glucose. Okay, heterodisaccharide. Next, then, so disaccharide contain 2 monosaccharide. So 2 monosaccharide must be they joined together, no? They must be joined together by which bond? Glycosidic bond. Therefore 2 monosaccharides are joined together by glycosidic bond. Let's see what is a glycosidic bond. What is the bond present between 2 amino acids? Peptide bond. In proteins, no, peptide bond. What is the bond present between 2 nucleotide? Phosphodiester bond. What is the bond present between 2 monosaccharide? Glycosidic bond. Okay, right. So therefore here, now if you take 2 monosaccharide, let us take monosaccharide and another monosaccharide, right? So 2 monosaccharide, usually their OH group of one monosaccharide, okay, another OH group of another monosaccharide, okay, they interact. So when they interact, what they can eliminate? Water. And what is left here? O. Therefore there is a monosaccharide and another monosaccharide joined together by oxygen bond. This oxygen bond is called what? Glycosidic bond. So therefore, how the glycosidic bond is formed? The glycosidic bond is formed between 2 monosaccharide by interaction of OH group of 2 monosaccharides, right? So OH group of one monosaccharide interact with OH group of another monosaccharide, it eliminate water and there is a oxygen bond is formed between 2 monosaccharide. So this oxygen linkage is called glycosidic bond. Now tell me, how do you define glycosidic bond? Of course, the bond present between 2 monosaccharides, right? The bond present between 2 monosaccharide is a glycosidic bond, or the bond which is formed by interaction of 2 OH group of monosaccharide with elimination of water molecule, also called glycosidic bond, right? So you can take two definitions. So glycosidic bond, the bond present between 2 monosaccharides called glycosidic bond. The bond present between 2 monosaccharide called glycosidic bond over R. The bond formed by the interaction of what? 2 OH groups of monosaccharides two OH groups of monosaccharides with elimination of water molecule with the elimination of water molecule, okay, also called glycosidic bond. So therefore, now tell me, glycosidic bond is a ester bond, amide bond, ether bond. Is it ester? Ether, no. ROR. It is ether bond. Which bond is ester bond? Phosphodiester bond. Which bond is a amide bond? Peptide bond. Peptide bond is a amide bond. It has amide structure. Therefore, glycosidic bond is a ether bond. Okay. Next is, take this tabular column, very very important. Disaccharide, monosaccharides, type of bond. Okay, tell me, disaccharide, what are the disaccharide? One, sucrose. Two, sucrose, maltose, lactose. No? Second one, take maltose. Three, lactose. Sucrose, maltose, lactose. Can you tell me, sucrose contain which monomers? Glucose and fructose. Right, sucrose contain glucose and fructose. Which glucose, which fructose? Because glucose has two glucose, alpha, beta, and fructose has two fructose, alpha, beta. Which glucose and which fructose? So remember, important, it has sucrose has alpha D plus glucopyranose plus beta D minus fructofuranose. Right? It has alpha D plus glucopyranose, beta D minus fructofuranose, means alpha glucose, beta fructose. Then what is the bond? Of course, glycosidic bond. Which glycosidic bond? Here glycosidic bond is, it is called alpha beta, because alpha glucose, beta fructose. Alpha beta, here glucose first carbon, that is called C1. Fructose, which carbon? Second carbon, that is C2. So therefore, the first carbon of glucose linked with the second carbon of fructose. Therefore, it is called alpha beta C1 to C2 glycosidic bond. Bond also important. Next, maltose. Tell me, maltose contain which moieties? There are two moieties. Which moieties? Glucose, glucose. Which glucose? Alpha D plus glucopyranose, and it is also one more, alpha D plus glucopyranose only. That means 2 alpha D plus glucopyranose. Now, 2 alpha D plus glucopyranose, how they linked? Since alpha alpha bond is alpha only. Here alpha beta, no, that's what alpha beta bond. Here alpha bond. Then now glucose glucose, first carbon of one glucose linked with the fourth carbon of another glucose. That is a C1, it is C4. Therefore, it is C1 to C4 glycosidic bond present in maltose. Next is third one is lactose. Tell me, lactose. Lactose contain two monomers. One, galactose, glucose. Which galactose and which glucose? It is exactly opposite to this. It is alpha, no, here beta beta. So therefore, it is a beta D plus galactopyranose. Okay. Next is beta D plus glucopyranose. Therefore, both are beta only. Since both are beta, what is the bond? Beta bond. Then what is the linkage? Again it is C. First carbon galactose linked with fourth carbon glucose. Like similar to C1 to C4. But here first carbon of galactose, fourth carbon of glucose. C1 to C4 glycosidic bond. Okay. Now let's see structures of disaccharide. Right, first one, sucrose. Sucrose. Come on, tell me. One, sucrose is either homo or heterodisaccharide. It is a heterodisaccharide because it contains glucose and fructose. Two, whether it is reducing or non-reducing. It is non-reducing sugar. Next, whether it show muta or not. Does not show muta rotation. There is no muta rotation. Next, fourth one. Tell me, sucrose also called. What are the other names of sucrose? And moreover, dextro and levonoides. Sucrose is dextro or levorotatory. Sucrose has glucose, fructose, no. Glucose, fructose. Glucose is a dextro, fructose is a levo. It is about sucrose, it is about glucose, fructose. But sucrose is what? When it comes to sucrose, sucrose is a dextro only. Right? So sucrose is a dextrorotatory. Its rotation is plus 66.5 degrees. It is dextrorotatory. Okay. Next. Then what is the structural information? Tell me, this is important. Sucrose is composed of two monomers. Which monomers? Sucrose composed of alpha D plus glucopyranose, beta D minus fructopyranose, which are joined together by alpha beta C1 to C4 glycosidic bond. Yes or no? C1 to C2 glycosidic. Yes or no? Okay. Then what is the meaning of C1 to C2? First carbon of glucose linked with the second carbon of fructose. There is a bond between first carbon glucose, second carbon fructose. Okay, right on. It is composed of alpha D plus glucopyranose and beta D minus fructopyranose, which are joined together by alpha beta C1 C2 glycosidic bond, which are joined together by alpha beta C1 to C2 C2 glycosidic bond. Okay. Now tell me, to draw the structure of fructose, the sucrose, we need to draw the structure of what? One, glucose and fructose. Therefore, tell me, glucose molecule, Which glucose, which fructose, tell me? It is alpha D plus glucose, no? Okay, I'll draw the alpha D plus. Come on, tell me. In case of alpha D plus glucose 6-membered ring, it is, tell me where the OH group should be. In case of alpha, all are below the plane except third carbon. This is a alpha D plus glucopyranose. Next, one more is beta D minus fructose. So we have written, even studied fructose also. Tell me, fructose has 5-membered or 4-membered, 6-membered? It is a 5-membered. 4-membered you don't have. Okay, it is a 5-membered ring like this. Okay, in beta structure, where the OH group? Second carbon OH is where? Above, no? And this below is what? CH2OH. This first carbon, second carbon, third is above, fourth is below, fifth is H will be there. Sixth one is CH2OH. Remaining all are hydrogen. Now tell me, in order to form the bonds, glycosidic bond, first carbon of glucose, second carbon of fructose, these two interact. If these two OH group interacts, tell me what can be removed? OH, H. So remove the water molecule. What is the left? One oxygen will be left. That oxygen form the bond. That is a glycosidic bond. It can be written like this. So this is called alpha beta C12 C2 glycosidic bond. Okay. Now tell me, in this molecule, which is a reducing part, reducing unit, tell me glucose, whether this glucose is reducing unit or not. Reducing unit is, the reducing property is because of a presence of aldehyde group, free aldehyde group. Okay, now this glucose molecule has free aldehyde group. There was actually aldehyde group. This aldehyde group OH, no, it is involved in what? Linkage. With linkage? Glycosidic bond. Since glycosidic bond is formed, so therefore this this glycosidic bond cannot be broken easily. It cannot be converted into aldehyde group. Therefore, what is this? It is a non-reducing unit of sucrose. Then what about this? Is it reducing unit? In case of fructose, where the keto group was there? Second carbon. Keto group was present, second carbon. And if there was free keto group, that keto group may convert into aldehyde group. That is different. But is it now free keto group is here? Thus, that keto group is involved in where? Glycosidic bond. Therefore, this is also non-reducing unit. It means sucrose has both are glucose, fructose, both are non-reducing units. Since both are having non-reducing unit, it is a non-reducing sugar. Next point. Can it has mutarotation? I told you, in order to have mutarotation, there should be a alpha and beta. So will you write alpha beta? For example, if you take glucose, glucose can be assigned alpha beta is based on what? First carbon OH. Glucose can be assigned alpha beta because of first carbon OH, but that first carbon OH involved in glycosidic bond. There is no question of alpha and coming beta. E OH mele barala. It is not possible, no. Similarly, in case of fructose, fructose can be assigned as a alpha beta because of second carbon OH, not first carbon. Do you remember? But the second carbon OH involved in bonding, that is fixed. It cannot be interchanged. It means here first carbon OH, here second carbon OH. Actually both are anomeric carbon. This is anomeric carbon, it is anomeric carbon. Both anomeric carbon OH groups are involved in bonding. Since it is involved in bonding, it is fixed. Therefore, alpha beta is not possible. Then if I ask question, sucrose is alpha or beta na? Neither alpha nor beta. It's simply sucrose only. You cannot say alpha beta because anomeric OH are not free. If anomeric OH is below the plane alpha, above the plane beta, but it is involved in bonding, no. So therefore, it is neither alpha nor beta. So that's what it is, non-reducing and does not show mutarotation. Okay, structure of sucrose. Next, structure of, now before maltose, the one point we'll write here. Okay, hydrolysis. The hydrolysis of sucrose is called inversion of cane sugar, right? Hydrolysis of sucrose. Okay, the hydrolysis of sucrose is called inversion of cane sugar. Why this is called inversion of cane sugar? Even we study in where chemical kinetics. In chemical kinetics also we study, this is a pseudo first order reaction. Okay, inversion of cane sugar is a pseudo first order reaction. Okay, tell me why this is called inversion of cane sugar. We know that sucrose C12H22O11, what is its specific rotation? Plus 66 degrees 5 minutes. And tell me, which is on hydrolysis, reaction with water in presence of boiling water and any dilute acid, which gives rise to C6H12O6, which is called glucose, and C6H12O6, which is called fructose. Then now the specific rotation of glucose is plus 52.5 and it is minus 92.4. Okay, approximately 4. Now tell me, the specific rotation of sucrose is 66.5. It means dextro. Sucrose, before hydrolysis, it is what? Dextrorotatory. But when sucrose is undergo hydrolysis, it gives dextrorotatory glucose, levorotatory fructose. Okay, dextrorotatory what? Glucose, levorotatory fructose. Then here, this levo-rotation is dominates, means more than what? Dextrorotation. That means the resulting solution become what? Dextro na levo na? Levo. So initially dextro, after hydrolysis the resulting solution become levo. So that means the rotation is inverted. Inversion means opposed. The rotation is opposed, that positive to negative. So therefore this phenomenon is called inversion of cane sugar. Okay, meaning is rotation, the specific rotation changes from positive to negative. Since fructose rotation dominates more compared to glucose rotation. Okay, right, that inversion, hydrolysis of cane sugar is called, no, hydrolysis of sucrose is called, hydrolysis of sucrose is called inversion of cane sugar. Hydrolysis of sucrose is called inversion of cane sugar because sucrose undergo hydrolysis, because sucrose undergo hydrolysis gives dextrorotatory glucose, gives dextrorotatory glucose and levorotatory fructose, levorotatory fructose, comma, as the levo rotation in bracket minus 92.4 is greater than dextro rotation, as levo rotation is greater than dextro rotation in bracket how much? 52.5. The resulting solution become what? The resulting solution become levo rotation or not? The resulting solution become levo rotation. Means dextro rotation converts into levo rotation. That's what inversion. That's it. That is sucrose. Next is maltose. Maltose. Come on, tell me. Maltose. Maltose is either homo or heterodisaccharide. Hmm? It is a homodisaccharide to reducing or non-reducing. See, all disaccharides are reducing except sucrose. Reducing sugar 3. Is it so mutar rotation or not? Usually, see, if it is a reducing, it shows mutar rotation, because if it reducing, there is a free aldehyde group. If the free aldehyde group, it can have alpha beta form. Okay, therefore, it show mutar rotation. Okay, next, fourth one, it is also dextro rotatory. Okay, can you tell me what about its name? Maltose is called what? Malt sugar. Usually it is called malt sugar. It is a malt sugar. Do you know how it is prepared? From the starch, no? Starch on in presence of diastase enzyme, no? Starch undergo hydrolysis. In presence of diastase enzyme, you will get maltose. So that means starch gives maltose in presence of diastase enzyme. Okay. Next, then what is the structural information? Question based on this is important. Maltose contain two moieties. Which two moieties? Alpha D plus glucose. Right. It contain alpha D plus glucose units which are joined together by, so C1 to C4, alpha C1 to C4 glycosidic bond. Right. Therefore, it is composed of two alpha D plus glucopyranose units. It is composed of two alpha D plus glucopyranose units which are joined together by C1 to C4, alpha C1 to C4 glycosidic bond, which are joined together by alpha C1 to C4 glycosidic bond. Okay, so therefore, to draw the maltose structure, we need to draw the first two alpha D plus glucose units. You draw the two alpha. Right. In alpha, as we know that all the OH groups are below the plane except third carbon, no. This is one glucose, alpha glucose, and another alpha glucose. Right. In first carbon, again OH is same. Okay. So this is alpha D plus glucopyranose and alpha D plus glucopyranose. Come on, tell me. It is a first carbon, no? First carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. In the formation of glycosidic bond, which carbon OH interact? First carbon OH of one molecule, fourth carbon OH of another molecule. They interact with each other. Then what they eliminate? Water molecule. Therefore, you just remove the water molecule in between these two, then form the bond which is called glycosidic bond. This is a alpha C1C4 glycosidic bond. Okay. Then now tell me, in this molecule, which is a reducing unit and which is non-reducing unit? Now tell me, first molecule, is it reducing or non-reducing unit? It is non-reducing. Why? First carbon aldehyde, no? This first carbon aldehyde group is already involved in glycosidic bond. Glycosidic bond is strong bond. Therefore, which cannot convert into aldehyde group. It is a non-reducing unit. Then now here, this first carbon is aldehyde, but yeah, it is involving which bond? This bond is a hemiacetal bond. No, not glycosidic bond. Hemiacetal. Hemiacetal bond is a weak bond. So this hemiacetal bond can be broken easily, converts into aldehyde group. Okay. Therefore, this is aldehyde group is free. That means this is a reducing unit. Okay. So non-reducing, reducing unit. Therefore, the overall molecule is reducing. Now next, can it show mutarotation or not? So it can show mutarotation. Why? Tell me. Now in case of this, tell me, this glucose. In this glucose, there was first carbon OH below the plane. That first carbon OH involved in bonding. Then this OH can convert into up here comes. See, actually there was OH, no, like this. If there is a OH, this OH may come down up is possible, no? Interconnection possible. But already is bond is formed. Okay. Then is it convert into up and what is it, beta and alpha is possible? No. Because there is no free OH, no. Alpha, beta not possible. But here it is possible. First it is anomeric carbon. On this anomeric carbon, now it is alpha. It may convert into beta, no. That means, so therefore, anomeric, possible, alpha, beta. Then now tell me whether this molecule is alpha na or beta na. It is of course maltose. Which maltose? Alpha maltose. Because this is fixed. On this carbon there is a alpha. Therefore, it is called alpha maltose. Okay, in fact, alpha, beta in the textbook alli mention madilla. Alpha maltose, beta maltose. But you can write, it is alpha maltose. Can you convert into beta maltose? Can you write? Yes. This OH group right up and H is below. It becomes beta maltose. That means alpha maltose, beta maltose possible. Therefore, mutarotation is possible. Like that, sucrose is possible. Alpha, beta sucrose? No. We have seen that bond is fixed there. Okay. So that's what it is. That is not possible. Here is possible. Okay.